Hello, everyone, and welcome to Wizzo Talk. Why Wizzo Talk? Because I want to know, don't you? Here at Wizzo Talk, I play it like you said, uncut and unedited. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on all the hot topics yet to come. Like to be a guest on the show? Hit me up in the comments. You have a hot topic you'd like to have us discuss here on Wizzo Talk? Also, hit me up in the comments. Today we're going to talk a little bit about some black history. Now, if you love history, I'm telling you, you stay tuned because I have my guest here is going to tell you all about everything. I have some pictures right up here, and some of you may not be able to see it. You may not just be listening to the audio, but I will go into detail a little bit about the pictures. But I'm telling you, you don't want to miss this. So I'm going to let my guest do his intro, and then we're going to get right on off into it.
Okay, I'm gonna tell y'all. Oh, my name is Larry Womack, better known as Tootie Womack, but my name was L.J. before it was Larry. I'm gonna tell you all about that later.
Right.
But I'm gonna tell you about my daddy, Tal Womack.
Okay. Before you get on to that, first we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna talk just a little bit about these guys right here. So this guy right here, his name is Fred Meshack.
Yeah.
So what can you tell me about him?
Well, Fred Meshack Jr. used to live over on 10th Street. That's Mr. Meshack's son that used to be up the top of the hill there on 8th Street, called Martin Luther King. Today had the store up there.
Okay.
It was on the left-hand side when you're going south. Later on in the year, they put it on the right-hand side. Mr. Meshack was famous for the Meshack sausage.
Oh, okay.
That's Fred Meshack Sr.
Mm-hmm.
And then his son, and then he had another son named Hubon Meshack.
Right.
And I knew some of the girls too, but I didn't know them that well.
Right.
But I knew the boys because, I'm a man myself, so we
Right.
kind of grew up together. But anyway, Fred was a much older guy,
Okay.
Fred Jr. He went into service and he got out in 1959, out of service. I don't know how many years he stayed in there, but he got out. He bought a brand new 1959 Chevrolet Candy Apple Red Impala convertible with a Continental kit on the back of it. Oh man, that thing turned heads like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that boy left here and he went to Louisiana. Got the prettiest woman in Louisiana and married her and brought her back to Temple.
Yeah.
I can't remember her name. I think her name was Kilmar, I believe.
Yeah. That's okay. So he owned his own store.
Yeah, he owned the Blue Flame right
The
there.
Blue Flame.
Yeah, 10th and Avenue A.
Right. It was called the Blue Flame.
Yeah.
Right.
It was called the Blue Flame.
Okay then.
Yeah. And that's Mr. Meshack. He owned a whole lot of stuff too. But his son, after he got out of the army, he opened up that place, bought that new car,
Right.
went riding and stuff like that,
Right.
But Fred Meshack wasn't a very likable person. He never did really mix with a lot of, he mixed with a lot of people, but not people that was poor.
Right.
See, I was poor. I never was real, having a whole lot of money and a whole lot of education, stuff like that.
Right. Right.
No, I missed out on all of that because my daddy had too many kids.
Right.
6 boys and 4 girls.
Right. Okay.
But Fred Meshack, he was an all right fella. He used to stand over there at Milton Service Station a lot. They'd sit over there and drink whiskey and talk about the whole time.
Right. Right. And this is right here in Temple, Texas.
Yeah, right here in Temple, Texas, right there on 8th Street and Avenue D.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
right there on the corner.
All right, talk about that, guys. I'm gonna tell y'all right now. This is stuff that he's talking about. You're not gonna find any of this in no history book. This is all about memory and just about what he know from knowing these people and mixing with them. Now I have 3 more boards behind this, so we're not gonna be long. But I'm telling you, this is not in no history book. This is some good black history and just history period in about Temple, Texas. So we're gonna go on, and so this one here is Mr.
Coy Martin.
Cord Martin.
Yeah, but let me tell you, I got to tell you this about Fred.
Okay.
Fred Meshack, before he had that store, that service station, Mr. Willie White, he's the one that opened it. And later on, Meshack, Fred Meshack and Milton Stevenson, they was up there later on.
Right, at the gas station.
Yeah, running that gas station.
Yeah, I remember that gas station coming up down there.
Mr.
Yeah.
Willie White opened that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, back in the 50s.
Back in the 50s.
Yeah.
All righty then. So we talk about baby back in the 40s and 50s.
Yeah, and Mr. Coy Martin,
Okay.
one of the best men you ever wanted to meet. Okay, he helped me out a lot. I wasn't making a lot of money. I was working at service stations, had 2 jobs or 3 jobs a lot of times.
Right.
Plus, I was picking cotton before then.
Right.
Yeah, but cotton picking wasn't for me. So what I did, I went to get me a service station job because I like to learn about cars. And after I got to learn a lot about cars, because I had a few books help me too, but most of it came from upstairs.
Right.
The man upstairs sent it to me. I never had no kind of good education or anything. Didn't even finish high school or nothing. Okay. But I had people coming to me, asking me questions that had college degrees.
Right.
Like, for example, a guy out to Temple Junior College that was giving a mechanic course.
Mm-hmm.
They couldn't get the race car right, so a guy named Alvin Slider, not Alvin Slider, his cousin, I can't, Gary Slider.
Right.
Yeah, Gary Slider was his name.
Right.
He's the one that came to me and told, well, he told the white people, I'd like to start to ride. I know somebody can get that car right.
Right.
To the Womack.
Right. Well, you pointed it at him, so that's not him. But
that
yeah,
ain't Tootie Womack.
that ain't Tootie Womack. But we talk about how he helped you out a lot.
Yeah, Coy Martin helped me out a lot
Right.
and taught me how to make one check last to the next week. How to do it.
Right.
Make one check last to the next week because I was always broke and had to borrow money from Mr. Coy Martin.
All right.
Yeah, Mr. Coy Martin, one of my best friends, used to feed me and everything.
Everything. And he was right around 1940s and 50s.
That was in the 50s.
In the 50s.
Early 50s.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now this on this sign here say Negro Fundraiser. What
Okay.
can you tell me about the Negro Fundraiser?
Okay, it was a group of black guys. I got a picture of them too. I wish I had brought that.
That's okay. We got a couple more we're gonna look at first.
Okay, those guys, they was always raising money to help the blacks.
Okay.
And they were black too, you know, all of them Negroes.
Right.
And they would always get together and raise money to be able to help a lot of Negroes. Yeah,
Now that's all right there, right here. Okay. So we have one more right here is George Carter.
yeah,
That's a 1917.
that's when he was born, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't really know him that well, but I knew of him,
Uh-huh.
and I had seen him, and I knew a little bit about him. He liked to run over me one time, driving that big Cadillac. He was driving a 66.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, 66 Cadillac when he was driving.
Yeah.
He liked to run over me.
I'll be dog.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that he did run all over you there.
That's why I remember him so well.
Right. Okay.
But I didn't know very much about him.
Okay.
That's right there. Oh,
Them two.
yeah.
All right.
And they daddies too.
Yeah. I already know it.
Yeah.
Okay. So I have another one right here, and it looked like some
Policeman.
policemen from 1940s and 50s.
Yeah.
Boy, some of y'all that can't see this picture right here, y'all missing out on these 3 black guys, and look like they got guns and billy clubs, and that police car is from the. That look like a Volkswagen police car almost.
That's a 51 Chevrolet.
A 51 Chevrolet. Okay, well, what can you tell us about these guys? I see it says black law enforcement.
Okay. These guys, of course, I found out later on in the years, but back in the 50s, I thought that they were real police because they had on police uniform, they wore a gun and everything.
Right.
Other blacks didn't do that. So this right here is Buddy Robinson. They called him Quick Draw. He had always kept his hand on his pistol.
I see he got it on there right now.
Yeah, they called him Quick Draw. Now, he was the first one, Buddy Robinson. He had an office down there on Wall Street. Black people called it Wall Street. White people called it Avenue B and Avenue C.
And this is right here in Temple.
Yeah, called Wall Street.
Wall Street.
And they
Okay.
had Dawson Rooming House down there. The Branford Dawson Funeral Home people today.
Yeah.
Okay, Miss Branford's husband was down there at Dawson Rooming House.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, now I didn't know this. He owned that rooming house. I didn't know it because I was a kid.
Right.
I didn't know he owned that place over there, but I found out later on in the years that was Dawson Rooming House. And that tall man, Mr. Dawson, I didn't know it until 2000 and something. I seen a picture of him, and I'd already seen him down there on Wall Street.
Right.
Yeah, at Dawson Rooming House. A lot of people don't even know nothing about Dawson
No,
Rooming
I ain't
House.
never heard of that Dawson Roofing House.
Yeah, it was black folks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Dawson Rooming House, and then Buddy Robinson had a little gambling shack and a pool hall and It was in a 2-story building, but he was downstairs,
Mm-hmm.
and Dr. Dixon was upstairs. Dr. Dixon came in here from Hearn, Texas,
Uh-huh.
and his wife was named Miss Rhoda Lee Womack. And I thought he was related to the Womack. But come to find out later on, he wasn't.
Right.
Yeah. But that's Buddy Robinson. Now, this here right is Buck Brazier.
Buck was here.
Yeah, now he was one of the policemen. And then they had another one, but we didn't get his picture because his house had burned up. His name was Graham.
Graham.
Yeah, Graham. Everybody knew Graham. Graham, great big old guy. You know, these guys here were not Buddy Robinson, but Son Duke and Graham used to be together a lot. That's Son Dookie there.
Okay.
They'd be together a lot. Son Dookie was a little man. Graham was a great big guy, about 6'4", 6'5", about 275, 280.
Right.
And them soldiers, sometimes they wouldn't listen to him.
Right.
Oh, Graham would walk over to, Son Duke would call Graham, this guy don't want to get in the car. He's right there in front of the seafood inn.
Yeah.
Young GI, don't want to get in the car.
Yeah.
So Son Duke would call Graham. Graham said, son, he called that soldier.
Yeah.
Son, get in the car. See, he stuttered a lot.
He stuttered a lot.
Yeah. That soldier jerked back from Graham like he gonna hit him or something. Graham said, oh, shit, he wants to fight. Graham jumped back from him because he thought he was gonna try to hit him.
Yeah.
Got his pistol out, boom, shot him in the leg.
Oh.
Son, let me help you in the car. So they were right in front of the seafood inn.
Yeah, that's it. Right down in Tilba. I remember the seafood inn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Jesse Patterson was the man that owned the seafood inn.
Right.
And he got drowned out there in the water fishing. Yeah, Mr. Jesse Patterson.
So could these guys arrest any white people? Or wasn't no white people down there?
No, this was all segregation year. Now these guys couldn't arrest no white
Couldn't arrest
people.
nobody. Okay.
Had 3 Mexican families here, and most of them, they stayed a low key because they swam across the water.
Right.
So they didn't want to get out and get no kind of trouble or anything.
Exactly.
Okay. So that's the reason why it wasn't any Mexicans up there.
So it couldn't arrest anybody. I'm telling y'all, see, right now, this is what I'm talking about. The things that Mr. Womack is talking about, you won't hear this or read about this in no history book. You probably can't find these black officers, law enforcement, in no history book. You probably can't find them on Google. And plus what he's telling you personally about them. So don't go nowhere. We have one more poster that we're going to talk about. But these were the black law enforcement officers from the 1940s and 1950s.
Yep.
And that car was a
51 Chevrolet.
1951 Chevrolet. An old quick draw right there.
Yeah, and they couldn't drive a car.
They couldn't?
No, they wasn't supposed to drive no car. They come down to 8th Street riding the horses.
Oh,
yeah, Graham lived right over there on 16th Street.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's where Graham used to live.
So the car was just there, they couldn't even drive it.
No, they wasn't driving no cars.
I'll be dog.
They didn't let them drive no cars. They didn't let them drive no cars until the early 60s, when the changes went to changing in the mid-60s.
All right, guys. Okay, now I'm going to move on to the next one. For the guys and for those of you that are not watching at the video part, okay, you'll be able to, if you go to the video, you'll be able to see the picture, but if not, just listen to the audio. But yeah, one more thing you was going to say about him?
Yeah, one more thing I want to tell you about Son Dookie.
Okay.
Son Dookie got fired because he was messing with too many of them young prostitutes on the street.
Oh, okay.
See, 8th Street was loaded, we call them hoes.
Yeah.
8th Street was loaded with them. He couldn't stay away from them. So he got fired. But they hired him back.
Yeah.
And then they hired another guy, was named Elliot White.
Uh-huh.
And he had a son named Cecil White.
Okay.
And none of these young people gonna hardly know them because all them guys, they were way older than me.
Right.
Yeah.
Now I say untold history right there. You gotta go find it. Now this here is another good one. Now for those of you that can't see this picture, we're gonna start with this picture right here, and it's saying the opening of Jeff Hamilton Pool in 1946. So those of you that cannot see it and just listen to the audio, I tell you that look like that's probably, I don't know how many hundred of black people just all gathered around. So what are all those black people gathered around for?
The opening of the swimming pool for black people. See, we couldn't swim with the white people. Okay. So they had an opening of the swimming pool in that year, 1946.
And where was this located in Temple? Where at?
501 South 14th Street.
Right.
That's the address.
That's the
Jeff
address.
Hamilton Park.
Jeff Hamilton Park. 501 South Oh, was it South 14th Street?
South 14th.
South 14th Street.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so tell us a little bit, and I know you on here, so the people that watch it, they can't find you, but
Okay.
I'm telling you, there's hundreds of black people out there.
Okay, now Louis Young, you knew him, didn't you?
Right.
Your neighbor.
My neighbor.
Yeah, he was right there.
That is him right there.
And that's Mr. Riley.
Okay.
See, because they closer to the camera, and the people that was taking the pictures, they didn't really know how to take black folks' pictures that well.
Right.
And I recognized my daddy. That's him right there. And that's me sitting right there with him.
In his
See,
lap.
with that hat
With
on?
that hat on right
With
there.
that
Yeah.
deal around the
He
top?
always wore that hat. Yep. Yep.
That's my daddy.
Okay.
And he had me with him when that swimming pool opened.
And I remember from our last video, you were saying that blacks couldn't get certified as lifeguards here in Temple. You had to go to Oklahoma
That's
to
right.
get certified, then come back
That's
and
right.
taught a bunch of people how to swim, because y'all probably taught almost all of them how to swim right there.
We taught 950. This was just me and Genevieve and Robert Weaver and Guy Daly
Right.
and me, Genevieve, Guy Daly, and Robert Weaver. It was the four of us.
Four of us.
Yeah, was taught 950 blacks how to swim. Yeah.
And it looked like it'd probably be something, because the camera can't get all of them, because it looked like it's something all over behind
It
the
is.
hills.
They all back over now.
Now, I remember growing up this building.
Yeah.
So what did they used to do in that building, and what was that building for?
Okay, that's where we used to play inside. You know, being there boxing, playing domino. I got pictures to show you on the inside of that building.
Right, and that'll be in our next episode. So we get right back to that.
Okay, now I'm gonna tell you, before this was a park for the Negroes. Okay, it was a water treatment plant where they treated water inside of that building where the sewage came. And then it was in the sewage, they treated it, the water in now, and all of the sewage would run out of there down into the Beaumont branch.
Right.
That's why they had all them big old fat turtles, them big snapping turtles down there. And boy, we used to kill them like you wouldn't believe.
What?
Oh yeah, them old big snapping turtles. Some going to jump at me, and boy, I'd hit his head when he come.
Y'all didn't eat them, did you?
Oh no, but now some of the Mackimos ate some of the soft shell turtles.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Mississippi Mackimo.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of them killed a turtle, and they said it tastes like fish.
I'll be
Some of them said it tastes like chicken.
Yeah, they say everything be tastes like chicken. So that was something, the opening of Jeff Hamilton Pool in 1946. And we're going to get back to that one day, because this is another whole other part that we'll get back to talk to about Jeff Hamilton, who was Jeff Hamilton, who is Jeff Hamilton, and get you on here to tell his story. But now, this lady right here is all dressed up. So what is she about?
That's Arthur, and she had a sister named Miss QB. They was having a beauty contest down there at the swimming pool. And Miss Arthur there won the beauty contest. She had a sister named Miss QB, and she had a daughter named Marie, and a son named, what's his name? I know his name well, it come to Frank.
Frank, yeah.
Yeah, he live in Houston now.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and I think she might be done passed on, but she was a pretty girl, little boy, I tell you.
And so this is probably, since this was in 46, so this was probably somewhere in the 40s or maybe in the 50s.
This was in the 50s.
This was in the 50s, the beauty contest was in the 50s.
So when the swimming pool opened, then they kind of had a few cakewalks, beauty contests, swimming contests is down there, and your daddy could whoop them all. People used to tell me, they said, Womack, how you swim with your whole chest up out of the water?
Yeah.
And you're not going to believe this, but I got some guys can tell you. You talk to T.D. Hoyt.
Right.
He was down there looking. He'll tell you and all the rest of the people that's older like him.
Right.
See, T.D. is probably about 80, 87, 88, somewhere. Right. He said, Womack, I don't know how you did it.
I heard that.
And when we had the swimming contests, it had some white people like they could come down looking.
Yeah.
And they was wondering. And they come over there around me, and I didn't know why.
Yeah.
They ain't never seen a nigga swim like that. They said black folks' bones were too heavy to be able to swim.
I was just going to say that. I remember you said that. They said black folk bones were too heavy to swim.
Yeah, that was up in Oklahoma. They said it in Temple first.
Right.
But they told the people in Oklahoma where Genevieve went to the lifeguard training so she could give her certificates for lifeguards.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
All right. 1946, opened the Jeff Hamilton Pool, and 4 people taught about 900 black people how to swim.
950 black people.
950 black people how to swim in the opening of that pool that this picture here is representing.
Yeah, that's right.
Right. Okay, we got the beauty contest. Now, I know this young lady right here. So
That's Genevieve.
who is Genevieve?
That's my sister. Yeah, boy, the first time she got a whooping, me and her was underneath the house scratching matches. And Miss Ike crossed the street, she said, Tootie, you're Genevieve, get out under that house. Y'all gonna set that house on fire. I'm gonna tell Taff on y'all. So she couldn't wait for my daddy. She liked my daddy.
Right.
She couldn't wait for him to come home. And when she seen him walking, he always whistled when he walked.
Yeah.
She said, Taff, Genevieve and Tootie gonna set that house on fire. They was underneath the house scratching matches.
I heard that. Well, I was just adjust by camera, but then after you told us about Genevieve, then who was this guy? I know him, but who was
That's
that guy?
Kobe. He's the only one living, he and I, out of 6 boys and 4 girls. It's just 2 of us left. And they always said, I'll never amount to anything because I didn't finish school.
Yeah.
That's what the rest of the sisters and brothers said. I'll never own anything, never amount to anything. But guess what? I was a hustler.
Yeah.
I started hustling in 1948. Shiny shoes, running packages for bootleggers, cleaning up the barber shop, dusting the people off to give me tips and stuff like that.
So you proved them wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. I heard that.
And I even went to Fort Hood to shine shoes. And I wasn't by myself. About 3 or 4 guys was, together. And one of the guys was a thug. His name was Wesley Grant. He stole some money off of one of the guys' barracks bed. And when they came back out looking for the money, the shoe shine boys had been in there, but we didn't know Weston got that money.
Yeah.
Wesley Grant got that money off that bed, and the lieutenant come in, he put us off a post. We never could go back. I made almost $50 that night, shining shoes, boots, and belt buckles and stuff like that.
Right.
Shiny shoes, man, and boots was 35 cents, and shoes was 15 cents for shoes.
But I bet you couldn't make that tail pop, though.
Oh, yeah, I can make it talk.
What?
Yeah, that shoe shine rag. And them spit shine, you can see your picture in them boots.
You shot them soldiers' boots up.
Yeah, spit on them. And
So
rub
that's why
it
they
in.
say spit shine.
Yeah, that's what we call it, spit shine.
And pop that tail. I bet they didn't like that tail.
I can make a picture too. Well, I'm gonna tell you, I used to shine them shoes, and I had a shoe shine box. Whenever the business got slow in the barber shop, I'd come out of the barber shop and go out on the street and mix with the soldiers. And the soldiers, this Temple was just packed with soldiers, like Bourbon Street in Louisiana.
Right.
Okay, Temple 8th Street was the other way.
Right.
You couldn't walk without bumping into somebody. And I was a people's person. Okay, before I was at barbershop, Cokie was there. Cokie would never go out and mix with the people because he didn't mix with people good.
Right.
But me, I did. I mixed with any and everybody wanted to mix.
I heard that. And I know that's the truth. So you're getting out there getting it. Okay, well then, so this was AJB, this is Uncle Cokie, and who is this guy right here?
That's Willie Joe Gilmore. We call him 195.
I know his son gonna watch this right there because he's gonna be over here too one time. But what do you know about him?
Oh yeah, he and I, we left, when we got out of school in 58, we left and went to San Antonio together. Stayed with his Uncle Willie. His Uncle Willie had 2 or 3 girls, and they couldn't stay out of their room, and we were staying with them. And boy, let me tell you, I was hot to trot back in them days.
Right.
Them girls couldn't stay out of their room. They wants to come in there while we was. And old Bogart was like Japanese ribbon tip. You know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about.
And I said, I'm not gonna mess it up with Mr. Willie, because Mr. Willie's entirely too good a man.
Right.
So I told one night, I got to get me a room. I can't be staying here.
Right. Guys, I'm telling y'all, don't go anywhere. This is untold history. You're not gonna read about this in no history book. He lived this, he witnessed this, he's seen this. This is untold history in Temple, Texas, right here. So we have one more right here with this quick draw with this gun.
That's me. That's L.J. Womack.
L.J. Womack.
Yeah. And I was in love with Dovey Dale Daly.
Right. I know her.
She was in the ticket window at the Dunbar Theater when tickets was 9 cents.
And where was the Dunbar Theater located at?
Right there on 8th Street, right there. You probably remember where the Red Ram used to be.
I remember the Red Ram.
Before the Red Ram was there, Mr. Vaughns opened up he was a white man, Dick Vaughns. He opened up a store there. It was what do you call it? Where you go in and you can get your malts and things. Like a drugstore.
Like a little drugstore? Yeah, right, okay.
And a little pawn shop too, he had all of that stuff right there. Mr. Vaughns was a white man, Dick Vaughns.
Okay.
And he took a liking to me, and I used to run errands for him too.
Right, I heard that. So just since we didn't really kind of cover them, so let's turn our chair, face the camera a little bit, and talk to the folks here. But so I wanted to ask you about, so what was the Red Ram? I heard you mention the Red Ram. What was that, and where was it located?
It was right there where 8th Street Baptist Church, on the same side of the street, on the opposite side of the street, opposite side of Avenue C.
Okay.
8th Street Church was over there, and the Red Ram was right here on that corner.
Okay.
That's where the Red Ram was.
And what was it? Was it a movie theater? Was it?
No, it wasn't. It was like we called them beer joints back in the day.
Okay.
Where you go and you buy your beer and you do your little dancing, shake dance, or whatever,
Okay.
Your slop and all that other stuff.
Right. Untold history of Temple, Texas. Not in no history book. So I gotta ask you also. We got a couple more things we want to cover before we get out of here. But I was just at your house the other day, and you was telling me about some police chief that was.
Chief Berry.
Chief Berry.
He was the one that had Temple wide open. Chief Berry had a brother named Barnell Berry. Okay. These were white people. Mm-hmm. And he took a liking to me too, because he used to see the little boy on 8th Street, and I was the only little black boy that could be there.
Right.
Because my daddy was down there, and I followed my daddy down there in 1948. Shiny shoes for Boss Man.
Right.
Boss Man's name was Greg Holland. He was from Yoakum, Texas.
I think I heard you mention Yoakum, Texas.
Yeah, that's where he was
my last
from.
interview. Right.
Yeah, Greg Holland, and he wanted me to be his boy, and I used to help him, a lot. And I used to run to the bank for him, and he was the leading bootlegger. And he married Miss Sweet over on 10th Street. She was a real big, pretty high yellow lady.
Yeah.
Black people always did want high yellow women.
Right.
And Boss Man had the main one. Her name was Miss Sweet.
Miss Sweet.
Yeah, she got a grandson named Henry Dupree. But he passed on here about a year ago.
Right.
Last year, I believe.
Last year. All right. Hey, we have been covering some untold history here in Temple, Texas, as told by Larry Womack, or L.J. Womack, a.k.a. Tootie.
Yeah, there you go.
For a lot of them that know him by that. So, and you're not going to read about it in no history book. This is all the things that he remembered. You're not going to read about him shining shoes in clean for the hood, spit shining, making that towel pop like that. And you're not going to read about, because they definitely don't want us to know about how blacks couldn't get certified as a lifeguard in Temple, had to go to Oklahoma to get certified, and then come back.
Yeah, segregation days.
Segregation days, and then come back to Temple and was able to go ahead and teach them how to swim.
Yeah.
So before we get ready to get out of here, is there anything else that you might want the people to know about, just anything? I know you got a lot up there, but we just gonna cover just a little bit so we can just do it in sections, because we'll have another episode after this, and we'll come back and touch on some more. So just a little bit for a couple of minutes about whatever else that pops off about that you might want to tell. Probably putting you on the spot, but I know you got a lot up there.
My mind is running 100 miles an hour.
I already know what it is. Well, let me ask you this then. Well, tell me something I know about racing one time. Now, I know you already got into it with some guys at the track back in the day.
Oh, yeah,
and had a whole lot of guys upset, because I know you used to build race cars and you love speed.
That's right.
So.
And I used to whoop them all.
Whoop them all. Ain't been beat out there.
I whooped all the white boys. I whooped the Mexican. What about 2 Mexican boys here that had fast cars? I whooped them. I whooped all the black boys, and all of them hated me.
Right.
They was hating on me because I had a fast car.
Yeah.
And they wanted me to get beat so bad. At the racetrack, it had one young Mexican boy named Simon. Worked out the Mobile Chemical, had a bad Camaro in 1970. He bought it brand new. When they first come out with the 350.
Right.
He thought he had the fastest thing in the world. I caught him over there on 8th Street at El Camino of mine. 1966 El Camino, called the Undertaker. That was the name on it. We caught him over there on 8th Street. He thought that Camaro was fast because everybody's telling him it was fast. We took off from when the light changed. He watched my tail light all the way to the top of the hill. And he knew that he couldn't outrun me. And when we got down the Little River racetrack,
Right.
this was in 1970.
Okay.
It had 50 Negroes, I bet you, telling that boy that Simon done won the races, won the money, the trophy, and everything. And then all of them Negroes and some of the whites were saying, that guy can't beat this Camaro. He can't beat it.
Yeah.
And that girl, one of the guys said, man, that guy up there got that Undertaker. They say he's untouchable. I was running high 11s and 12s back in 1970 on just motor.
Yeah.
No nitrous, no turbo, no nothing. Just knowledge.
Right.
And, knowing how to shift gear. They don't know automatics or nothing.
Right. I say you shifted on the fly.
Yeah, I used to tell them, man, I got 4 in the floor and a 5th under the seat. And if you want to run it, just get in that other lane and I'm going to spank you.
I heard that. And say you didn't even use no clutch. You probably just shifted on the go. By the RPM, just shifted.
That's what I was doing, yeah.
Right.
But they didn't have sense enough to know nothing about that.
Right.
I get the RPMs up around, say, between 6,500 and 7,000 RPMs, and
Yeah.
and boy, let me tell you, okay to bar to do.
Okay, I got one more thing to ask you about because we were just over there talking about it the other day, and it was something to the fact that you and some guy was racing, and you told him when he get down there so far, just throw his hand up, and you would know that he got it all the way winded out.
That's Clarence Franklin.
Clarence Franklin. Okay,
Yeah.
tell me right there before we get out of here. Y'all listen to this right here.
Okay, Clarence Franklin. He was from Moody, Texas. He was a few years older than me and everything, and he was going with the same girl, Jean Parker, and my brother used to go with. My brother, Daniel Womack, took Jean Parker away from Clarence Franklin. He had Jean Parker's name on his shoulder, tattoos on his shoulder.
Yeah.
That's who I'm talking about. Okay, he couldn't whoop Jimmy in the races, so when he figured he'd whoop Jimmy's younger brother, which was me.
Okay.
And he didn't know that I built race cars, but Jimmy didn't build no race cars. He had them built and did work on them himself, but he didn't have them built. He didn't build them himself. But I built them myself I had the balancing and all that other machine work stuff done, but I put them together myself.
Right.
And set the valve and the timing, everything on it. Okay.
Don't hit that because that microphone picks up all that when you hit that. Okay.
Clarence Franklin told me, he said, Tootie, he said, I know you got a fast pickup there, but you got 120 on yours and I got 120 on mine. Whoever get there first is gonna be the winner.
Right.
I said, bullshit. I said, boy, I'm gonna follow behind you till you get there.
Yeah.
And when you get there, you just throw your hand up and let me wave bye-bye to it.
Right. Right. Want to cut that off? It's ringing right there on your phone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Okay. You told him tell him about that again. You told him throw his hand up. You gonna follow behind it?
Yeah, I'm following behind him. I'm probably about, let's see, I'm not sure how far. Might have been 50, 60 yards behind him because I knew I'd run over him if I was too close to him when I really mashed on that thing.
Right.
See, I had them dual line hollies on that thing, 2 of them. And boy, when I got behind him and he threw his hand up like that and I seen him through the rear view mirror, he's telling me bye. I mashed on that thing just ooh, with the raising up like I wanted to fly.
Yeah.
I looked over the speed on the past 120 and the tachometer's still moving. It's climbing for that 7,000 RPMs. And I'm still in third gear. See, and I had a 4-speed.
Yeah.
I went back to 4th. I was so far out ahead. I went by him like he was tied down. And he could not believe it. He was doing between 125 and 130.
Right. So just because he had 120, you had 120 didn't mean nothing.
That's what he thought.
Yeah.
But see, I knew better. So I followed behind him until he got there, and then I spanked him bad.
Yeah.
And he went to blinking his lights for me to slow it down because I was getting away from him.
Right.
He turned around, come on back, so I turned around, come on back too. He never talked to me no more. He went, got rid of that El Camino and bought him a motorcycle.
All right. Okay, well, we're going to get ready to end this session out. I'm going to thank you for coming on, and we'll have another part to this, or another episode. I'll get some more pictures, because I know you have, like tons of them. But we talk about untold history of Temple, Texas. Guys, He lived it. He saw it. He done been in the footsteps of it, and so
stuck up there.
and he stuck up there, and he have a lot. And we're gonna share all of it with you guys, and we'll just do 30-minute sessions or something like that. But I'm telling you, don't want to miss this. This is about untold history of Temple, Texas, by the man L.J. Womack, Larry Womack, or AKA Tootie.
There you go.
So, untold history of Temple, Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah, were you going to say something before I end it out?
Yeah. I was going to tell you about Mr. Gaines, taxi cab stand. L.C. Gaines had a taxi cab stand right there on 8th Street.
Okay.
And it had a lady driver. Her name was Marie. And she could really beat drums and sing too.
Right.
That was
Okay.
back in the 50s.
That was in the 50s. We're going to save the rest of that for back then because I know he has a lot of it up there. So, guys, I want to thank you for coming on the show. Thank everybody for watching. And remember, it's free to share. It's free to subscribe. And we love and appreciate your support here on Wizzo Talk. I am Paul Wizzo. Holla at your boy.